Should we do JDTV then?
No, just do it tomorrow.
How many times do you say that to yourself in business? What are you putting off? What is it that you're putting off?
Procrastination.
I struggle with big words. This week's episode is all about procrastination. I'm probably one of the world's worst for it. If I don't really want to do it, I'll do it later. I'll do it tomorrow. Dawn is the master of getting the SH1T done. So she's going to lead this week. So Dawn, just start with the first tip. What have we got?
So there's normally, I would say, 5 main reasons, or I'm going to talk about 5 main reasons that people procrastinate. So first one is fear of failure. That's one of the big ones, I think. It's like, if we put it off, we haven't got to face up to the potential negative results, which are normally imagined anyway, which is the crazy thing. So if you're a perfectionist type person, and I can speak from experience here because I'm a recovering perfectionist, I like to think, then the stress of getting things just right actually, causes you to be like, oh no, that's just too much, and cause you to keep delaying doing the task. Either way, fear is at the root cause of why you're putting something off and stopping yourself from moving forward. So how can you tackle that? Well, I would suggest that you try visualizing the successful completion of the task or the project or whatever it is that you're procrastinating over. For example, if it's a presentation, visualize yourself in the room at the end of the presentation with everyone clapping and giving you awesome comments on how good your presentation was. And please do remember that perfectionism doesn't exist. You've just always got to do your best and realize that's all that you can do.
I love that. Done is better than perfect.
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay, tip number 2 then. This could be me. Dreamers' lack of action.
Yeah, I think this is you, because these kind of people are normally highly creative, and Jamie is really, really creative, and he has loads of great ideas all the time. And you may have heard us talk before about the book of dreams, where we put all Jamie's ideas, because else we'd literally be starting something new every day, if not every morning and afternoon. So the dreamers, they have loads of great ideas, but they just can't quite get them to either start, or they might start them and can't complete them. And the main reason for this is because they're creative. So there's no structure and there's no goal setting. They just create the idea. It's like an aimless approach, and it ends up manifesting as a real lack of decision making. So how you can tackle this, if this is your type of procrastination, I wish there was a sort of shorter version of that word. As soon as you get an idea, work out a timeline of what you want to achieve and by when. And ideally, use it daily to keep yourself on track and accountable. Creative minds tend to jump from one idea to the next. So cultivating an attitude of focus is key if you want to get over this kind of procrastination.
Yeah. Or have an accountability partner who keeps you on track.
That works too. Get your own book of dreams.
Yes. All right. So the third reason that people struggle with procrastination is overwhelm.
Oh God, I hate this word. I really do. I just think the very way we say overwhelm sounds like it's, enveloping us. So this is actually one of the most common causes, I think, the sheer overwhelm of a daunting task. So this causes your brain to lose motivation, avoid doing the task altogether, and stay in its nice little comfort zone. It starts to search for a more enjoyable task and put the harder task off. And of course, this just causes even more stress and anxiety, because the task is eventually going to come up to be completed. So how can you tackle this one? I would suggest that you break the challenge down into much smaller tasks and tackle each one individually. You could even put the tasks in order of most daunting. Start with the most daunting, go into the least daunting, and then deal with the most challenging parts of that at the best time of your day. So a lot of books and stuff that you read about this kind of stuff will say, and tackle it in the morning. I am a morning person, but not everyone is. Some people do their best work, after 6 p.m. Whatever is your time for your best work, once you've broken it down into those smaller tasks, then you can tackle them at your best time. You could also, I love this, set up a reward system. So, you can say, right, if I do X amount of this project or get this task done, then I can, lie on the sofa watching Netflix, eating chocolate. I mean, I don't know who would do that. But that's the kind of thing. Setting up a reward system for yourself, like a barter with yourself, can also help with that overwhelm if that's your kind of procrastination.
That reminds me, what if you haven't watched it already, watch our thing about celebrating your wins. That's definitely with that. Right, so the fourth reason, Mr. Busy who's unable to prioritize.
Now, I think we meet a lot of these people in business because, let's face it, who isn't busy? I don't ever meet a business leader who says, yeah, not busy at the moment. And so if you've got lots of tasks to get done, you might procrastinate because you don't truly acknowledge the differing importance of each task, which results in you getting nothing done. So your time spent constantly switching from one task to another, or spending too much time deciding which task to do. So the way to tackle this is, it's all about choosing the right task to do at the right time. You need to look at each task and ask yourself, is it urgent or important? Or maybe it's both, or maybe it's neither. And we've got a handy matrix that you can use for this. You might have come across it before, but if you run every task through this matrix, it will absolutely revolutionize your time and will help you to identify what needs to be done at what time and in what order. So we'll post a link to the matrix in the comments for you.
And then the last reason, what's the dog in the playground?
Dog in the playground, the squirrel. There's a squirrel. Our brains are not wired to actually focus for long periods of time, and so they start to look for something else to do. And if you throw into the mix of their getting interrupted by people who are around you at home or at work, if you're still in a work environment, mindless scrolling of social media, kids at home, and all those other distractions, you've got a recipe for ultimate procrastination. And this type of procrastination is not always about your unconscious decision to put off the work. It could just simply be a result of your work setup. So at the moment, a lot of us are working from home. We know we've got kids there, homeschooling, all that kind of stuff. So how can you tackle this? I think this is my number one, and I love this method of working. It's basically the Pomodoro technique, if you've not heard of it. Very, very simple. You aim to work for 20 to 30 minutes at a time on one task or one batch of tasks. Then you take a break for 5 minutes, and then after 4 lots of the 20 to 30 minutes, you take a 20 to 30 minute break. It's a really short period of time, but with concentrated focus, you'd be amazed what you can actually get done in that time, and you just have no other distraction. So this is my 20 minutes for, writing this email, and then maybe you do allocate yourself 20 minutes for looking at social media, and then you look at 20 minutes to write a report or whatever it is. I guarantee, I'm going to put my money where my mouth, not my money, but I'm going to put my mind where my mouth is now. I defy anyone who uses this technique to not get like double the amount of work done in half the time. Every time I use this, and it's normally when I've got absolutely loads and loads of tasks to do, so I can make sure I'm going to get them done. I could finish work at 12 o'clock because I do my Pomodoros, and normally by the time I've done the first 4, I've nearly done all those tasks that I want to get done. So I would really encourage you to have a look at that.
Okay, so 5 main reasons that people procrastinate or stuff off. So the first one, we'd love to know which one of you is it. So comment with 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. So 1 is fear of failure. 2 is dreamers' lack of action. Third reason is overwhelm. The fourth reason, you're too busy to be able to prioritize. And the fifth reason is you're easily distracted by the dog in the playground. So thank you very much. Dawn, what are we doing next week?
Next week, we're kind of taking a theme, but taking it on one. You know, when you've got a decision to make and you just keep putting that off, that's a form of procrastination, but it's got different reasons and different answers. So we're going to look at that next week.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
See you then. I don't know what that was.
No.
It was like half a salute and half a wave.